By the time you finish this video, you will understand the fundamental ideas that make the web work. This is not about memorizing code in 10 minutes. That would be an impossible promise. Instead, this is about building a mental map. You will learn what the core components of a website are, how they fit together, and what to focus on first. Web development is not a single skill, but a collection of distinct parts. Grasping this distinction turns an overwhelming mountain of information into a clear path with manageable steps. We will demystify jargon like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript by translating them into simple, relatable concepts. Think skeleton for structure, paint and furniture for appearance, and functional parts for doing things. By the end, you will know what these technologies do and leave with a clear, actionable plan. At its heart, a website is simply a collection of files stored on a special, always-on computer called a server. When you type a web address into your browser, you ask that server for those files. Your browser reads them and uses the instructions inside to draw the site on your screen. To make this tangible, think of a website as a house. The land and utilities represent the server and internet infrastructure, the foundation that makes access possible. The browser is like the front door and windows, the way you see and interact with what is inside. Construction begins with structure. On the web, that structure is HTML, the skeleton of the page. Once the frame is up, CSS makes it livable and pretty. Colors, fonts, spacing, layout. JavaScript is wiring, plumbing, and appliances. It adds interactivity. Turn on lights, open the garage, run the dishwasher. The first pillar of any web page is structure, defined by HTML, your architect blueprint and framing plan. HTML uses tags to label content and give it meaning and purpose. An H1 tag says, "This is the most important heading." A P tag says, "This is a paragraph of text." Other tags define links, images, and lists. Your first goal, be comfortable with basic tags. A clean HTML structure is a non-negotiable foundation. If HTML is the skeleton, CSS is skin, hair, and clothing, the full presentation of your site. With CSS you set colors and typography, build layouts with grid or flexbox, and add breathing room with spacing. CSS selects HTML elements and applies rules to them. For example, find all H1 headings and make them blue and larger. This separation lets you change the entire look without touching the HTML. JavaScript powers behavior. Click a button and a menu appears. A form gives instant feedback. That is JavaScript. Web development is often divided into front-end and back-end development. The front-end covers everything users see and interact with. HTML for structure, CSS for style, JavaScript for behavior. Your browser downloads and runs these files on your device. Front-end developers craft seamless, accessible, and visually pleasing experiences. The back-end runs on servers, handling user accounts, orders, databases, and core business logic. Example, the front-end shows a login form. The back-end verifies credentials and grants access. Back-ends use languages like Node.js, Python, Ruby, PHP, and Java, often with databases and serverless services. As a beginner, you can build portfolios, blogs, and landing pages without writing back-end code. Platforms handle it for you, so focus on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript first. The internet runs on the request-response cycle, the basic grammar of the web. Type a web address or click a link, your browser creates a request and sends it to a specific server. The server finds the file, then sends a response back, often an HTML file. Responses include status codes. 200 OK means success. 404 not found means the file was not found. Your browser reads HTML top to bottom and discovers references to CSS, images, and scripts. Each referenced file triggers a new request response. One page can generate dozens of requests. Fast sites keep files small, reduce their number, and use quick servers or CDNs. Ask, how can I minimize trips to the server and make each file as efficient as possible? This understanding turns you from someone who just writes code into someone who builds performant experiences. Great web development is guided by principles. First, prioritize clear content. Write concise text, use descriptive headings, and break long passages into short, scannable paragraphs. Most users scan for keywords, respect their time, design responsively. More users are on phones than desktops. Adopt a mobile-first mindset. Design the simplest phone layout first, then enhance for larger screens using flexible grids and media queries. Test on a real phone. Non-negotiable. Performance is a requirement. Large unoptimized images are the usual culprit. compress and use modern formats. As you advance, minify code, remove unnecessary characters and lazy load images, build for accessibility, semantic HTML, alt text for images, and sufficient color contrast benefit all users. An inclusive web makes your creations better for everyone. To start, you do not need complex or expensive software. Your toolkit can be simple and free. Use a good text editor. Visual Studio Code offers syntax highlighting and auto-completion. Your browser is essential. Open DevTools with Inspect to View HTML, tweak CSS, and debug JavaScript. Use Git to save snapshots and revert mistakes. Learn basic commits. It is a powerful safety net and collaboration foundation. Learn the terminal to navigate folders, create files, and run tools. Many workflows run from the command line. Practice inspecting any website to understand its structure and styles. You learn fast by exploring real pages. Stay organized in your editor. Clean folders and file names reduce confusion as projects grow. Editor, browser, Git, and terminal. That is enough to begin. Habits you form now will shape your effectiveness. Plan before you code. Minutes of planning save hours later. Write simple, readable code. Use clear names for files, CSS classes, and JavaScript functions. Replace vague names like box with user profile card. Keep functions short, one job each, and comment decisions. Notice repeated elements, buttons, cards, navigation bars, and make them reusable components. Components speed development and ensure visual consistency across pages. Test continuously. View in multiple browsers and devices. Resize your window to check responsiveness. Ask someone to use your site while you watch. No instructions. Catching small issues early beats late-night emergencies. Now that you have a mental map, let us chart a learning path starting with HTML basics. Focus on headings, paragraphs, lists, links, and images. Aim for simple, logical documents. Then learn CSS selectors, the box model, margin, border, padding, content, and change colors and fonts. Next, JavaScript, variables, functions, and manipulating the DOM. Write a simple function to show or hide an element when a button is clicked. Build a one-page contact form with name, email, and message. Style it responsively and add basic validation. Deploy to the web using Netlify, Vercel, or GitHub pages. Drag and drop your HTML, CSS, and JS. Open your editor, create index.html, write a single line, save, and open it in your browser. You have just begun.